Los Angeles Rams fans, I don't know about you, but it feels like the impossible might actually happen with Aaron Donald returning to the field. Adam Schefter reported that Donald recently worked out at our team facility to test his physical state, and the momentum is shifting toward an inevitable comeback. Having the greatest defensive player in franchise history back in the trenches would change the entire identity of this team overnight. And honestly, the more details come out, the harder it is to ignore what is going on behind the scenes. Hit the like button, subscribe, and drop your name and city below. Let's get into it. Speculation regarding a potential return of legendary defensive tackle Aaron Donald is heating up as we approach the start of training camp for our Los Angeles Rams. Donald, who spent his entire illustrious career anchoring our defense and cementing his status as one of the greatest players to ever wear a Rams uniform, recently stepped back onto our facility grounds for a private workout. According to ESPN reporter Adam Schefter, the superstar informed the team that he is currently assessing his physical and mental readiness for a potential comeback. Friday's workout functioned as a crucial litmus test to determine if he can handle the grind of a full 17-game season. For us fans, the prospect of seeing him back on the field is nothing short of electrifying because of what he represents to this franchise's identity and recent championship success. The truth is that while the sentimental desire for his return is immense, the practical hurdles are equally significant. Peter Schrager noted on the Pat McAfee show that while the team would welcome him with open arms, discussions regarding finances have yet to occur. We currently sit with $18 million in cap space, and any deal would likely need to be heavily incentives-based to accommodate both his value and our roster needs. If he decides to come back, he would need to pass a physical, get reinstated by the league, and finalize a contract, all of which must happen before training camp kicks off in under 2 weeks. While we are all hopeful, the real tension lies in the math behind the curtain. If the Rams need to clear space to make this reunion a reality, who might see their own deal restructured to facilitate the return of the greatest defensive player in our history? The most surprising aspect of a potential Aaron Donald comeback is that the two sides have not even discussed specific dollar amounts yet, signaling that this process is currently about pure desire rather than financial gain. This situation traces back to the moment Donald stepped away, leaving a void that the Rams have navigated through a major roster transition while managing a tight salary cap of $18 million. Because he has been out of the league for 2 years, comparing his potential earnings to active veterans like Cam Hayward, who averages $18 million, or Grady Jarrett at $14.5 million, is complex because those players maintained consistent playing time. What makes this even bigger is the historical precedent, or lack thereof, for a legendary talent returning after such a deliberate hiatus to compete in a full 17-game season. Behind closed doors, Sean McVay and the front office are likely weighing the immense cultural impact of his return against the logistical need to keep the roster balanced for future seasons. They typically prefer to hold $10 million in cap space to handle mid-season needs or potential trades, meaning any deal for Donald would likely lean heavily on performance-based incentives to protect the team's long-term flexibility. It is clear that the organization wants him back, but they are approaching this with the same pragmatic discipline that defines our front office strategy. If he passes his physical and feels satisfied with his conditioning from Friday's workout, the focus will shift entirely to crafting a contract that honors his legacy without handcuffing our ability to field a competitive deep roster. Whether he rejoins us for a final run or remains in retirement, this specific moment is a testament to the enduring relationship between an iconic player and his coach. With training camp looming in less than 2 weeks, the Rams are currently standing at a pivotal crossroads that could fundamentally redefine our expectations for the upcoming season. The potential return of Aaron Donald is not merely a nostalgia play. It is a calculated effort to restore the defensive identity that defined our championship era. If he indeed decides to rejoin the active roster, we must clear significant financial hurdles, as the front office currently manages an $18 million cap space while aiming to maintain a $10 million buffer for mid-season flexibility. Here is the thing nobody wants to say. Adding a veteran of his caliber, even with incentive-heavy structures as speculated by Peter Schrager, complicates our long-term salary structure. especially with the need to potentially restructure contracts like that of Davante Adams to make the numbers work. His presence on the field would completely alter the complexity of our defensive schemes against high-powered division rivals. We are looking at a transformed landscape where we no longer just compete with the Seattle Seahawks or the San Francisco 49ers, but actively dictate the pace of every game. A comeback gives our defensive front the immediate authority it has lacked for 2 seasons, changing how opponents prepare for us weekly. If the league reinstates him and he passes his physical, our path toward a deep playoff run shifts from a hopeful possibility into a tangible, high-stakes objective for Sean McVay. While the logistical process of signing him remains complex and requires precise financial maneuvering, the prospect of seeing him back in uniform provides a massive psychological boost to our locker room. We are watching a unique situation develop that could see our team move from being a playoff contender to a genuine powerhouse before the first kickoff even occurs later this fall. Bringing a legend like Aaron Donald back into the fold would be a monumental boost for this team as we prepare for another grueling season. The obvious upside is the return of a generational talent who can anchor our defense and elevate the performance of every single teammate on the field. Having a leader of that caliber provides a psychological edge that is simply impossible to quantify in a contract negotiation. And honestly, we cannot ignore the significant risks involved in this reunion. Bringing back a veteran who has been away from the physical grind for 2 years is a massive gamble, especially when considering the sheer toll a full 17-game season takes on the body. We are looking at a delicate balance where the Rams must weigh the benefits against the current salary cap realities. According to Peter Schrager, the front office and Donald have not even discussed money, focusing instead on his desire to return and his commitment to being the best version of himself. Media analysts have pointed to the contracts of Cam Hayward, Grady Jarrett, and Javon Hargrave as benchmarks for what a defensive stalwart might command at this stage in a career. Here is where I land on this whole situation. While I would love to see number 99 back in the jersey, I am skeptical that he can immediately regain his dominant form after such a long layoff. The transition back to high-intensity football is rarely as seamless as fans hope. It is refreshing to hear that the organization is taking a measured approach rather than overpaying for past glory. If the deal is truly incentive-based as speculated, it might protect our flexibility, but we must be realistic about the potential impact on our younger players currently stepping up to fill that massive void. The potential return of a legend like Aaron Donald signals that our front office is prioritizing a win-now mentality to maximize the current window for Sean McVay. By bringing back a cornerstone piece, the organization is clearly deciding to lean into its proven veteran core rather than initiating a full rebuild. And here's why that's a big deal. This move would serve as a powerful statement to the locker room that we remain fully committed to contending for a championship right now. As fans, you should feel a renewed sense of genuine optimism and excitement knowing that our pursuit of another title remains the primary mission of this franchise. The prospect of adding such a force back into the rotation provides a massive boost to our defensive identity, even if it requires clever accounting with our remaining $18 million in cap space. Peter Schrager reported that money has not been discussed yet, which suggests the priority remains Donald confirming his own physical readiness after a 2-year hiatus. If he feels he can commit to the rigors of a full 17-game season, his presence would stabilize our defense in a way that few other moves could. We are witnessing a unique situation where a franchise icon might help push us over the top one last time, provided the contractual incentives align with our long-term salary cap health. Facing these complex negotiations and the looming deadline of training camp, we have to look closely at his role. Do you believe the Rams should prioritize signing Aaron Donald to a 1-year incentive-based deal, even if it means sacrificing depth in other areas of the roster? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Ram it! I'll see you in the next one.